family members were killed because New York City's transportation policies have prioritized the swift movement of cars, trucks, and buses. Today, we are announcing the creation of Families for Safe Streets to advocate for policies that will prevent others from being killed or maimed by reckless driving in dangerous conditions.
We came together, several of us met after our children and family members were killed. We're the group nobody should ever have to join.
Families for Safe Streets saw a real change early on in 2014 when we changed the speed limit from 30 to 25.
This bill is now law.
Starting the chapter of DC Families for Safe Streets, we've learned the power of our voices and our stories. So this is my cousin Janie. She's right here in the middle. Our families were immigrants to the United States, and our parents had settled in neighborhoods near each other, and so we would hang out all the time. She passed away when she was 24, and quite frankly, it's just been difficult to see the impacts of her death.
What brought me to work as an advocate for Family for Safe Streets is not a good reason, but we had lost our family members in a traffic crash. I just thought that, I know they did not die in vain, and that some work had to be done.
My nephew was hit by a driver driving a pickup truck, and it incapacitated him. My complete lack of being able to feel like I could do anything and the anger that I had drove me to really advocate more for safe streets.
I became involved when my father was struck by a speeding driver right near where I grew up in Brooklyn. In that split second, almost took my father's life. Now I'm involved with starting the Families for Safe Streets Nashville chapter.
How I got started in this work was nothing that I really anticipated. But on October 19th, 2010, my son, Connor Lynch, who was a junior in high school, he was crossing the street for cross-country training, and he was hit and killed by a distracted, hit-and-run, non-licensed driver. And at that point, obviously, my entire life changed. And of course, through the grieving process, I just wanted to do something.
Being able to connect with other families that have dealt with this has really been life-changing, because you know that there's other people who are going through what you're dealing with. Even if the crash was a different type of circumstance, the loss and the pain and the trauma is the same. And that feeling of why wasn't this prevented is still there. And we can connect over that.
Through these cross-country support meetings, people have found each other and are able to talk honestly about what they're experiencing, whether they're small triumphs or some small setbacks, but it's been helpful for people to relate with one another.
We really need to come together and demand traffic safety measures to prevent deaths.
You can tell your story of what happened to you or your loved one and your family. Your tragedy is not just your personal tragedy, but it's the tragedy of our community, of our neighborhood, of our city. And it's just one example of a larger pattern that needs to be addressed by the people that have the power to change it.
We need smart ideas, which we have. We have amazing advocacy groups working on this every day, but we also need the passion of people who can really speak to the importance from a personal level. And that's where we've seen the change. When we see members of Families for Safe Streets speak at a hearing about a change on the streets or show up at a memorial and speak directly to the news media or state legislators about policy change and needs, when we see them organize letter writing campaigns or march on the streets to demand that their kids can get to school safely, can play in a park safely, we know that we need that kind of activism. We know that we need people who really can speak from the heart. And I don't think we're going to make the change we need. I don't think we're going to reach Vision Zero without lifting up the powerful voices of Families for Safe Streets and really investing in their voices being heard, in making sure that they can be strong, powerful advocates and fight for a better tomorrow.